the Bowman Road paving assessment project at a total cost of $486,572.45, or a maximum assessment of $9,307.04 per equivalent residential unit. Of the total possible votes, 41 or 51% responded to the petition. There were 15 respondents, or 37% in favor, and 26 or 63% against the project. This is the project limits. As you can see, everyone that was able to be pulled in through the requirements of the methodology was pulled in to the project. Construction ends here and begins out here at US 41. We have the railroad tracks and the bypass, Swiftmutts bypass canal right here. All of these parcels are being assessed at 100% rate, and the blue is at 50% because of the dual access. There's really nothing on the south side other than the Crossbar Ranch well fields. So, I mean, and near Booming right here, where that pole is where the road will stop, because there's only 25 foot of right-of-way on the south side, and we acquired that from Pinellas County when we acquired the southern 25 foot of this road. And I have to give the real estate department the credit for staying on top of that and getting that right-of-way. I believe it took 3 years for us to get that right-of-way from Pinellas.
And Mr. Brown, a question was brought up, and I think at least 3 of us were looking at it, and sure all of us were, but why to the south isn't the Crossbar Ranch paying anything?
The methodology prohibits the assessment of any government entity, federal, state, county, or local.
I did reach out to the Pinellas County Administrator, Mark Woodard, when I started receiving emails regarding this matter from you and from the residents, and asked them if they wanted to make a good neighbor contribution. Mr. Woodard did some research, and unbeknownst to me, but as identified by his staff, at the request of Mr. Gallagher, they donated the right-of-way already for this road. So they donated in the neighborhood of about 6 acres of right-of-way for this road, for the intention of this road to be paved. So if you value that at, $15,000 an acre, they've already made a $90,000 plus or minus donation to the benefit of this project in order to allow it to be paved. And I had David run a rough estimate of what their assessment would be, and that number was?
It was just over $30,000 because of the zoning on it.
So with the donation of the right-of-way, they've actually contributed more than they would have been assessed if they were to be assessed.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Schrader.
Yeah, we also received a petition, and in the petition, they're claiming that this is Pinellas County's main access. Well, that's not accurate. Their main access is Lockett Road. Lockett Road is the road that they use to take the logs out, the pine straw out. At one time, they actually had a security guard there. And if they're not doing it,
hang on, you'll get a chance to speak.
If they're not doing it now, I can assure you that things can be worked out, that the trucks are exiting Lockett Road, and they don't use this road because the residents are going to be the ones and the county bearing the cost of the improvements. It's a little bit different in some of our paving assessments because there are a few that exceed $10,000. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on the methodology behind how y'all came up with that.
On how we came up with
On the additional payment schedule, because I guess some of them are repaying over 10 years and some over 15 years.
That's correct. When back in October of last year, whenever the board told us to bring this forward for a public hearing, the decision was made at that meeting to assess any spread or give a repayment period to anyone whose assessment was $10,000 or less, 10 years as normal, and anyone that was over $10,000, a 15-year repayment period.
Yeah, I think that's.
And that's what we follow.
Right.
Ron Nickerson.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. At 73 years of age, I'm still somewhat intact of mind and body. Mr. Schrader, you said that they weren't using Bowman Road for the logging trucks?
So what I said was that their main access is Lockett Road, and if they're not
We
using
had
it,
over, sir, we had over 200 log trucks up and down Bowman Road.
okay.
We live there, we know what's going up and down that road. I'm here to discuss fairness overall,
Okay.
totally fairness. For 30 years as a federal agent with the United States government, our agency worked upon fairness where we could and where it was called for. What I'm seeing here is that we have homeowners who are now retired, who are now on fixed income, who have not the income strata they had once had, now being asked to assume a second mortgage with $18,000, with $6,000, with $8,000, with whatever the assessment may be. This creates an undue hardship on these people. We are not an economically strong-based community out there. The average worker living out there is not in the ivory tower outfit. They're laborers. They're construction people. They don't have that kind of economic strength. We need to reassess what we're going to do to these people. Because right now, they're going to be hamstrung and hurt by the paving of this structure without the involvement of Pinellas County. I'm going to be real brief on Pinellas County. You folks in the commission found it within your purview to invite Pinellas County to pay property taxes. You asked Mike Buzzano to go ahead and collect the $59,000, whatever the amount was, and Mike did so. However, I can't see this being two ways. You can't cherry pick A and then let B just walk away. That's not how it goes. If you're going to, the special assessment, and it's again within your purview as county commissioners, to be able to delegate this as an undue hardship and offer to assess Pinellas County in the entirety as they should be. 6 acres when they have over a mile of frontage on Bowman Road. This seems very, very, it's just not right. You got a little guy down on the corner of Bowman who's being assessed, what, $18,000? $20,000. $20,000. You got another man with a small farm just across the railroad tracks being assessed 18 down the line. It's just too damn much for it. I'm sorry. It's just too much. I'm going to end my introduction here with just one thought. Fairness is what our people are looking for out there. There are those who may be opposed to the paving. There are those on the other side who welcome the paving. What they're all in unity on is the fair share of the paying of the paving. And we're not seeing that.
Sharon Lynn Buffington. And then Edward Cole after that.
Pinellas County owns 16,500 acres. These people own 5 on Bowman Road, and they were assessed over 18,000. Okay, I don't see where the relationship is. The Property Tax Office and the Tax Collector's Office of Pasco and the Pasco County Commissioners have classified Pinellas County as a property owner, okay, in its relationship to the Crossbar and Albar ranches, for it is outside of the jurisdiction and purview of a governing body. 017 paving ordinance basically says property owners with boundaries, access, and special benefits from the improvements are to be assessed. Because they gave up so much property, okay, Kim Marks, the Child Care Center, Tommy all gave up property, and they're not compensated. That if Pinellas County comes in, okay, and they are assessed under agricultural residential, it's fair. Okay, but if they're assessed at one house per 10 acres and we are assessed at one house per acre, it'll give us almost 9 times the amount to pay. Okay, I hope that you will make a fair decision. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have put a summary of my comments in the letter, which I'll give to the county commissioners. When we bought our property, it was rural Route 5, Bowman Road. We were informed by the seller and affirmed by Chelsea Title Company that the property was zoned to allow only one house per 5 acres. Now we're being told, and a second house could be built, but only if it's for family members. Now we're being told that because 4 houses could be built on it, that we are being assessed for 4 houses.